All right. They took away his body. Man, does this ever stop? They took away his body. Why did they take away his body? You know how when you give up the ghost, not give up like I quit. When you give it up, when you give, when you freely give, when you receive freely, you give freely. So you give your ghost freely, the one that's inside of you. You freely give it up. When those when they took his body. When they took his body, they were taking what Christ was giving up. Then they took his body to the grave so he can finally rest. Here, take this body, eat it up. No, it's not his literal flesh. You know those secret apostles, Joseph and Nicodemus, I think? I'll probably never remember because I heard it one time. When they finally stopped being secretive, they finally accepted the body of Christ. Therefore, when they finally picked the body of Christ up, they were rich. They were rich, and there was a little bit of trickery involved because apparently people don't know the truth of the matter, what really happened back then. So you got to kind of speculate and come to your own conclusions, like I am. Pure speculation, of course. I speculate that Bible verses have more than just one meaning, and it's not up for private interpretation. However, we all privately interpret it anyway. But are you trying to deceive somebody? That's the only difference. You interpret the Bible any way you want. If you're trying to deceive somebody, you're going to stand in shame. That's it. Shameful. Shame on you. Fool me once, you can't be fooled again. Fool me once. Shame on you. Where's Clec live at? Tennessee, Texas thing. Yeah, Clec. Oh, Corpus Christi. That's right. That's what they did. When the Roman soldiers, right? They didn't want to break the body of the Corpus Christi, the bones, because they're like, screw you, boss, child, screw you, boss, child. I'm not breaking his bones. Matter of fact, get up out of your seat so he can sit there. That's gangster there. That's real mafia gangster when that happens. You want to see what gangster mafia is really about? Try doing something like that. And only with words. Words that causes actions. Words causes people to get the hell up out of their seat. Like, if you have mustard seed faith, you can make a mountain move. Well, what the hell do you think mountains are considered, and high mountains and high hills? It's all those people with the high and mighty in their mind. What's 29 3/4 and 19 3/4? Huh? What is it? Quick, come on. Is that 49? So take the body of Christ and put it to use. And get that snake out of there. Cut the head off. Remember, rich man's tomb is buried in a rich man's tomb. He was laid to rest. Here's your rest. And his complete heaven was where he went. He definitely ascended up to the Father. He graduated from being a son to a father. Because his words were believed. That's why. And none of his family went to ask for his body to bury it. It kind of seems like neglect, like it's pretty messed up, Mary, Mark, Luke, and John, or whoever else was his disciples. I still don't know all the names. Nevertheless, I think there was 12 of them, right? One of them betrayed him. Oh. Why would none of you come to your brother's? Why would you not even ask for his body to put it in its grave? Unless, of course, he didn't have to suffer to have his dead body buried. You know, like the witnesses, where their dead bodies are buried. They're in the middle of the street, but they don't suffer to have their dead bodies buried in the grave. Likewise, he didn't suffer to have his dead body buried in a grave, because after 3 dark days, was his body buried in that grave? No. So for nobody to go get him, to bury him, to give a proper burial, it's pretty messed up, man. It's pretty messed up. Even John. John was right there. He was the last one there, and he actually believed Christ was who he said he was. Why wouldn't he at least go and ask for his body when he was the closest one to him? There was no eyewitness to the resurrection. Nothing's written in the Bible where one person actually seen it from start to finish, all the way through. Even the ones that carried his body to his final resting place. You think Christ was part of that deception? It's like he knew at the time what was going to happen and how people were going to perceive the words from there on out for the next 2,000 years. It's going to be misinterpretations all the time until video proof comes around in the last time where you can't deny the evidence any longer. So when those events did take place, like that great earthquake and the veil being opened up, and three hits in a row in Philadelphia, like just 1, 2, 3, waiting it out a little bit. And those events do take place. There's going to be a veil opened up. It's going to be the same as it was back then. The truth gets unveiled, and there's 144 people per 1,000 that have their pieces of the puzzle to put together. That's unveiling this phenomena. I'm just unraveling the script, the world script. That's my gift that I have. I'm unraveling that. That'll be unveiled. And then there's going to be 3 hits in a row. There's going to be some dark days ahead, man. There's going to be no truth at first. Then there's going to be bombs of dark days. And then that sun is going down. Wait till that sun comes back up 3 days later. Oh, man, that's going to be a sight to see, huh? Remember who told you. Alright, fine. What's the big deal anyway? What's the big deal? How many people did they say that died that really didn't? Like Prince, like Michael Jackson, like Boy George and George Michael. Where did they go? Did they really die? Let's say they did. Okay, then they're dead. Let's say they didn't. Okay, then they're still alive. What's the difference with Christ? If you believe he died or if he didn't. What is the difference? One of you is go to hell and the other one doesn't over a belief. Isn't that a work that you do? How can you be saved by works alone? It's a work. It's a thought. It's an interpretation. If he didn't die, then it means that he still lived. And it also means, no, it's not, doesn't mean that. The Bible is not a liar, okay? It's not about lying, it's about interpreting. What do you interpret? Do you gain anything from believing that he did die? Do you lose something if you say, I don't know, it's too far-fetched? Some guy ascending up into heaven when no flesh can ever do that in the history of existence. It doesn't work that way. Do you think any man today is going to float up in the air right in front of you? If it's supposed to be the same as it was back then 2,000 years ago, isn't the same thing going to happen? Some guy in the flesh is going to float up in the air right in front of your face. So if you're going to burn in hell, then go to hell then. Go where you want to burn. It's free will. Go to hell. If you choose to have an open mind and just see things for the way they are, use some common sense, you'll escape out of that prison that you put yourself in.